Hi guys, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I am going to be showing you how to make my Chinese chili beef. Now this is a really tasty meal that I go back to again and again because it's very simple. You don't need a whole lot of ingredients, but it's really tasty and really carries a lot of those kind of like Chinese takeout flavors in it. So let's get started. The very first thing that we want to do is slice up our beef. I'm using 2 boneless New York strip steaks here, and this will make enough for a serving of 4. You just want to slice those up into moderately thin slices. It doesn't have to be super thin. And once you have that all cut up, then we're going to season it with salt and pepper. We're going to use about 2 teaspoons of salt and about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and just kind of give that a mix to make sure that gets on all of your beef pieces. And then we're going to add in about 1/2 cup of cornstarch. Now you don't really have to measure this so much as just make sure that all of your pieces of beef are coated in that. That's going to give us the texture that we want for our beef. Now I am just thinly slicing 2 red Fresno Peppers. They're basically red jalapenos. If you can't find these, you can use any pepper that you like. In my skillet, I just have some hot avocado oil, about 3 tablespoons worth, and I just popped those red peppers straight in there and let those cook until they got kind of nice and crispy, not like crispy, but just like a little bit of crisp around the edges. And then using the same skillet, I'm just laying my beef pieces in there. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, you want to lay these in sort of individually. You don't want to just dump all of your beef pieces in there because it will overcrowd the pan and it just won't give you the desired effect that you want. So just do it one at a time, and when the backside is browned, flip it over, let it cook for another minute or so, and then once it is looking to your desired doneness, go ahead and pull that off and set it aside. Now we are going to make the sauce for our dish. This is really where we're going to bring those Chinese takeout flavors home. I'm using about 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce. This is so delicious. And then because I didn't have any fresh ginger on hand this night, I used about 1/4 teaspoon of dried ginger. But if you have fresh ginger, it is so much better with that. And then to that, I am adding about 3 tablespoons of liquid aminos. You can, of course, use coconut aminos or use soy sauce. The soy sauce is going to be a little bit saltier. And then I am just going to add a squirt of Sriracha in here, about a teaspoon's worth, and then just mix that all up really nicely and set that off to the side. Now the very last thing that I'm doing here is in the same skillet, just heating up about 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. You can use just avocado oil if that's all you have. And then I've got about 3 garlic cloves here that I chopped up roughly, and I'm just putting those into the hot oil. We want to just let those cook until they start to get nice and kind of crispy a little bit. Shouldn't take very long in that hot oil. And then we're going to go ahead and move into combining everything together in here. So we're going to put all of our beef, all of our chili peppers in there, and then we are going to go ahead and add in our sauce as well. And you want to just kind of make sure that everything is coated and let this cook for about 2 minutes with the sauce and everything in there, because that is going to just bring everything together so nicely. Everything should be nice and coated in that beautiful sauce, and it should be nice and thick on your beef pieces. And I like to just lay this on a bed of nice fluffy white rice, make sure that I get a couple peppers on each plate there. And then just for garnish, you can always sprinkle that with a little bit of sesame seeds and also a little bit of green onion. You can't go wrong with that, but you don't have to have those things. They just add to the visual appeal, and of course the onion adds to the flavor a little bit, but it's definitely not necessary. This is a beautiful, quick and easy dish. I hope you guys enjoy. Bye-bye.